So today we're out at the St Thomas More College at Sunnybank, where they've just removed a lovely old chapel from outback Queensland. Today we're talking with Mr Les Conroy, who's the principal of St Thomas More. Hi Les, how are you today?
Yeah, good, thanks.
Can you tell us a little bit about the chapel and the history of it and where it's come from?
Yeah, I'd probably like to take you back a little bit to tell you the beginning of the journey. And it probably started about 7-8 years ago with Chris Noonan, two principals before me, who in his master planning had this vision that he wanted to have a chapel here on site. And then Peter Elmore, the previous principal, went online, believe it or not, and came across this lovely little chapel. And it was up for auction, and it was a quaint little church. Country Queensland, hadn't been a Catholic church for a number of years, and we thought we'd bring it in here and repurpose it, and that was a gift left for me when I took over the principalship of the school, and it'll be something, it's a legacy that I'd like to be able to leave behind.
So where exactly has the chapel come from?
Yep, so a place called North Coringa. The best way I can describe it is it's north of Dalby and south of Kingaroy, so it's in that pocket of mountains on the left-hand side of the Bunya Mountains. There's a couple of little chapels out there near Bell, Carkillambun, that probably look the same, built around the same time in 1937, that just look spectacular. And so we're very blessed to be able to bring that chapel back onto our site at the college.
You mentioned the vision of the previous principal, so why not just do a new build for your building? Why bring an old chapel almost 400 kilometres from outback Queensland?
Yeah, I think it's the charm, and it's the chapel out there for that community. There's a lot of emotion attached to it, a lot of family history, and part of that was we wanted to reconnect an old Catholic church that was decommissioned and bring it back in, if you like, to the school and back into the city, and bring that old country charm and make it a focal point here as a place of worship and spirituality for our school. And it's just a great connection for our kids to have that connection with another parish and another area, and for them to have that connection with us. And it's trying to make that history live and continue to live. So it's about legacies.
And what do you think the students can take out of the school undertaking the project?
The students themselves have made a lot of comment about the building. One, they're quite amazed that, they went on school holidays and there was just an empty block of land, and they come back from the school holidays and there's this beautiful old building. And so they've been making lots of comment about it, and it's been creating that conversation about exactly that same story. Why are we bringing this one in, sir? Why didn't we just build a new one? The story that lives within those walls from those communities is now coming to us as custodians of that building, and they're buying into it, and they're loving the story and loving the journey. And I suppose it's allowing students to see a picture that's something that's bigger than just themselves at this point in time.
So we've just been out to have a look at it. There's scaffolding and fencing all around it, so it's not ready to use yet. So what work do you need to complete to get it up and running?
Yeah, there's a lot of work. As you can imagine, it's an 80-year-old building, and to bring it into a commercial environment like a school, lots of modifications have to be done around the support structures that sit within the chapel itself. So the cladding's got to come off the side, and bracing has got to go inside internally to make sure that it fits in with the modern building codes. So there's a lot of work to be done. Even simple little things like the doorways have to be widened for wheelchair access. And fire codes and stuff. So there's lots of modifications that will be hidden that people won't notice, that'll need to bring it up to modern code.
Les, thank you so much for talking to 96.5 today about your lovely old building.
I appreciate you coming out and sharing the story with your listeners.